All right, we're on there. Hello, everybody. This is Santiago and Chuck Show, and we're here with
sitting in for Chuck is Matthew.
Yeah,
I'm here. I am. I haven't been back to Milwaukee in a few months now. I've been traveling around the globe there, hanging out in Ireland, and then I went to France for the last few months. But here I am again.
Do you speak French?
Comme ci, comme ça, you know.
Yeah,
but,
a little bit.
Bonsoir, everyone.
Where were you in France?
I was cruising around France, you know. It was a good story. I take a trucker's ferry to France, you know, from Ireland. I walked down the coast of Ireland. You know, I was getting down to just one pack. I threw all the stuff away before I left. You don't need superfluous stuff.
Sure.
Traveling around, you know. And so I get on the Celtic Link trucker's ferry. I head for Cherbourg, and just had I had a rough itinerary, you know. I had places that I wanted to go to, and airports and train stations, but I didn't know where I would sleep at night or what I would find. But Cherbourg, and then I go to France on the train. Paris, France, you know, and then some funny things happened when I got to Paris. You know, they have this new identification card on their credit cards there.
Really?
Yeah. And so I put the card in, and pop, it doesn't come out. It says, "We're holding your card, Matthew."
Oh, no.
And so I have 50 euros in my pocket. I don't know what I'm going to do. But I met this really, really cool guy, Mohammed, traveling. He was on the train with me. We became friends. And we go to Le Quick. We hang out at Le Quick.
What's the Le Quick?
Le Quick is like, you know, it's like a sort of like a McDonald's or something, but they have everything is smaller, much smaller, you know.
Well, so it's like a fast food restaurant?
This is right outside the Saint Lazare train station. And it's starting to rain, and we're feeling, how can we stay awake? I'm not usually a Le Quick guy, really, I don't think. So we're sitting outside of the train station. I'm watching. Paris has so many motorcycle people, you know.
Right.
Like they have their special clothes and their gear that they wear over their motorcycles, and they look like some kind of like cowboy kind of stuff, but it's always black, and it looks like you know, these rain coverings that they have. But I'm watching the rats really at night. I'm watching all these rats trying to stay dry, crawling into the motorcycles.
Oh, really? Inside
the... Because they're parked out at night outside of the train station. But it was really good for me because of 50 euros. I think I have to not stay in hostels like I did in Ireland, you know? So
yeah, that's not very much money. That's about $70.
Yeah.
Well,
So I just walk around the cities and sleep the city of Paris and sleep in the gardens, you know, and I spend the day in the museums, and I like the Jeu de Paume was a big thing for me over the summer. I see a lot of work that I liked of photography and filmmaking, of retrospective stuff, you know, but I had a good time, and then from there it worked out. I get the Western Union, you know, my bank. After sitting in like a telephone booth outside of the American embassy, talking to my bank, and everything worked out. It was okay.
So you got your card back?
I didn't ever get it back until later in the summer. But they gave me some wired cash, and you know, it worked out. After like arduously speaking with this Japanese lady at the Western Union, and it was cool. It worked out, and so I headed south to Lyon, and I lived in a storefront there. It was some friends. I knew his sister.
Huh.
I have a friend here, and
How's it going?
it's going good, Chuck. I'm telling about my summer in France.
Chuck's just walked in. Yeah, he had to get some. Yeah, some power plugs. And we've got Matthew here today.
I've received a note from our friend Donia.
Yeah, we have a note from Danya for an event. You want to go ahead and read that?
Donia says, night flight at quarters, free tonight, live band. The Faggots. Is this correct? Can you verify
I think
this,
that's
Chuck?
correct.
How would you say this, Chuck?
I think it's the Faggots.
Yeah.
Chuck
Like
says
baguette.
the Faggots like
Like-
baguettes. From Columbia, Missouri at 11:30. So night flight at quarters, free show. Oh, got Chuck sliding in behind you. Nothing to do with the Faggots. So okay.
Yeah, we got headphones all over. Matthews
I like
doesn't
this-
seem to be. He's going without them.
Man. Santiago is just giving me a Bud Light limerita margarita with a twist.
That's
It's,
it.
I'm hoping it's gonna be like the mojitos in the south of France at the Cubano, but
I brought-
we'll see. I think I'd like it
Thank
with
you.
mint.
Chuck's just passed me one of these.
What happened?
Chuck, what's going on? You want to say hello to everybody?
I poked
You
smack.
got to talk into the microphone.
Did you say I poked smack?
Can you
Nobody
open it
knew
up?
until you brought it up.
Cheers. I read it. It's disgusting.
I'm going to say Kuzma Bagachu.
Kuzma Bagachu.
Kuzma Bagachu.
Prost.
It was a motherfucker.
While in France, I didn't actually end up hanging out with the French so much, but I made a whole lot of new Rwandese friends.
Oh yeah.
So they're speaking Swahili and some other stuff that I've
That's awful.
hybrid French.
Terrible.
It's not the mojito I was hoping for. But
Talk to the mic. It's a whole different experience now.
how you feeling today, Chuck?
I feel great. I actually feel pretty good. I talked to Sarah today. Sarah,
This city has a whole lot of great Sarahs.
Talk
in
right
it.
in there.
hi.
You
I
can
talked
move
to
that.
Sarah
You
today.
can move it if you want
she's
to make
my-
it into a place that's more comfortable
My
for you.
partner, Sarah. Oh, you know, she's at Teaching Drum. You've been up to Teaching Drum, right?
I've been up that way, you know. I friends asked me if I was going to do wild rice this year.
Yeah.
What's
it's
wild
for
rice?
racing.
Wild rice, you know, the rice that grows on our lakes here in northern Wisconsin, and
Yeah.
we have 11 great Native American tribes of Wisconsin. And they, in northern Wisconsin, they post every year when they believe the qualities of the rice are ready to be harvested. You know,
I didn't know that.
so you can go down to the DNR station in your county,
Right.
and you buy a fishing license, but it's for wild rice.
Huh.
You know, it's pretty cool. It's $8, and they more than usually don't have a lot of information to offer you, because I think there's quite a bit more fishing communities here than wild ricers, but
Right.
it doesn't mean everyone out there can go out and maybe team up is good. You have to be clear on your canoe specifications.
Huh.
You can't have a canoe longer than 17 feet, I believe, and it can only be so wide. So be clear on that, I think. They don't want you to... It's like canoeing, where you don't really want to canoe usually.
Yeah.
Because you're going through the grass, but you don't want to maybe damage the grass.
Sarah just did this multiple port, like they were just racing. Sarah and my 5-year-old Gio. then it turned into leaking, I guess, because it hailed, and all the rice got knocked off the stalks by the hail.
And it was a dry year up there.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. They were expecting to get thousands of pounds. Actually, I had a nice talk with Sarah today, so feeling less freaked out about. There's this feeling like they have so many rules at that place, and they're so strict. It's just bugging me, you know. Like there's like for all the way that they're out there in nature, they were a little too rigid. But now I think I'm seeing them in a little different. Santiago's gonna loop us saying this.
No, it's not going in there actually. No.
Can you hear me?
No, you have to talk into the mic. If you're talking in the mic, people can hear you. But if you don't talk in the mic, no dice.
I'm here on the mic.
That's it.
I was just up there, Chuck. I visit my parents. Sometimes it's really hard up there. There's some lonely times up there when I'm by myself. But I have to relax, I think. And when I leave, I always feel like, oh, I should have spent a little more time with mom and dad and stuff. But I was helping my dad take the round bales off the field. He's got a very green second crop.
Hey, and I know where you're from, but do you want to let everybody know where you're from?
I'm from where the hemlocks and the white pines and the tamaracks and the county trunk C and the potato road that's been spelled wrong for many, many years. And my mom writes into the county every year, and she says our Potato Lane Road has got an E on the end of it, and it should not be there.
Gotta be really annoying. Well,
and it's more annoying to her because she's a retired English
But you
teacher.
know what? Maybe you just gotta get a can of paint that's more or less the same color as the sign, and then paint over the E. That's what I would do.
That's true.
Because it's the last letter.
Yeah,
It's easy.
it'd be fun to do.
Yeah, either that or some duct tape. Just duct tape over that.
But, hey, Matthew, how do you... But I was thinking you're from Antigo. You
This
call
is
it
true.
Antigo?
Antigo, yep, Antigo. This is where I was born.
Up in Antigo?
Up in Antigo, yeah. This is mine.
Everybody calls it Antigo. It's great. No, I had a friend in high school from Antigo.
And my brothers, my half-brothers and my half-sister went to Antigo. My mom was teaching there for 25 years, college prep English. And but I did not go to any school other than kindergarten at Horizon. You know? And I went to some basketball games there, but never. I sat in on a lot of high school English classes, but I never attended school. I did attend the Dixie, however. I liked the Dixie Lunch Cafe, which is still serving blueberry pancakes and
I could go for some
diner,
pancakes.
superior diner coffee, and it has a whole locals at that
So about how many people live in the town that you're from?
That's the thing. I'm not really. I was born in that town, but where I'm from it's equal distance, Merrill or Antigo, whichever way. You go north and tuck to 25 miles north, and then there's not really much there. There's the Wildwood Chapel, which is about a mile down the road, and then the Forester's Place, Nothing really close, but a lot of hay fields and hardwoods, and you could hear a lot of hounds barking. My parents have a lot of hounds, and I slept outside a lot while I was up there. I slept on the porch, and I rode a lot and listened to Clyde and Queen, Clyde is a big white Percheron, and then he's got his friend Queen out there who's a little bit older than me even. Queen is a quarter horse, an auburn lady. She's got longer hooves these days, but she's still out there winning, and it's good to spend some time around horses.
That sounds really great. I never got to. I've ridden horses a couple times, but but I don't know. I wouldn't say I've spent a lot of time around them.
I think some of my earliest memories are riding in buggies down to. I have a half brother, Martin, who still lives on a farm, like maybe 7 miles to the east towards Anigo, and he bought the farm where he grew up, and my father and I used to take Martin back with the horses in the buggy, and I would ride on the back of the buggy, and yeah, just lots of listening. When I got older, I started bicycling out that way. Yeah. But I was just over in Iowa County today, and I was reminded of this because in Iowa County they got this great place called, it's got a funny name, Governor Dodge State Park, and
is that on the way up there, or?
Well, this is on the way to, if you're headed to like Montana or the Dakotas or Minnesota, somewhere western bound. But it's out on the edge, past Madison, west, way out there. And there's some old farms out there, and the state, I think, had bought the land from these homesteaders, and there's still a lot of plows and relics, plows, sickles, and scythes, and things that used to be on the farm of these homesteaders. We had 9 kids or something, and tuck. I think about these. I think I saw a photograph of looked like my parents' horse Clyde, and yeah, I don't know what I was gonna say about that.
About the horses?
Yeah, it reminded me that I lived in maybe like a timeless age or something, like where I'm from. Reminded me of the 1930s or the pictures of the farming. So I could say that maybe I'm from the 30s.
I mean, I've driven through like the same towns all over Wisconsin, like must be 1,000 times or something. I'm pretty old, so they're all like, they're really. Do they? I don't think they're kind of running out. Are they running out of those kind of small? A lot of good ones up there.
Yeah, I'd like to, when I go back, my dad, I don't know when, a few years back, he started collecting these Jeeps, It seems like the worst ones in the county are the ones that you would find, He's into Jeeps because he spent a long time in the service,
Oh yeah.
And he traveled around in Vietnam and the Philippines and in Asia, and he's got this fascination with the Jeeps. I don't know what it is really, but he likes them, And so we go for Jeep rides, and we don't necessarily see the small towns, but we see the same kind of farms, and we look at, rather than the people, we look at like where the turkeys are hanging out these days, where the cranes are, or where he's seen the deer, or where the bear have been crossing recently.
Wow, yeah.
Or that's what we see.
Yeah, that's what I've been feeling really, really it's totally beautiful up there. I've been getting depressed when I go up north lately because I've been having a really hard time, like with just been a hard separation for me.
It's a long time.
My family.
Yeah, it's a long time.
So, but I think actually maybe most of it was me probably, So I feel like I'm at a better place. Like Sarah's like being totally cool about everything with me, I'm a real jerk or something.
I think you can have a lot of good letters though.
Yeah, I don't think you gotta. Yeah, I've been suggesting that you write a lot of letters, but yeah, you don't like that idea.
I've written a bunch.
You have? Good.
Yeah.
That's really important, I think. Every time I go away, to get a letter from home is amazing. It's that feeling, there's nothing like it. It's a really, really wonderful feeling, and if it's important.
I think a lot about postcards too, because I like to be like maybe I can't write a letter a day or something, but maybe I can. When it turns to a postcard, I like to fit as much as I can on the size,
Yeah.
and it becomes like word sculpture a little bit, like what it becomes like maybe a vision of what it's like to be where you're at, but it gives like poetry,
That's awesome. Yeah. No, I've been to like in I've been in like feeling resentful or something. So I just felt like the whole philosophical, like Sarah presented the teaching drum thing as being like learning skills, like learning nature skills, and that it wasn't necessarily like so it's mostly a philosophical experience, about changing, altering time and space and stuff. And so I guess I felt like she was just going to learn about trees.
It's much more than that, right? I mean, learning about nature and surviving, that's a small element. It's a little bit, I don't know, it seems to be more of a rejection of contemporary life.
You know what? I mean, everything's good. It's probably mostly me. Serious. It's fun. Sarah's being super freaking cool. I'm the one who's like being like jerk.
I don't know if anyone knows what we're talking about. That's all right. But actually, before you came in, Matthew, you were telling us about Muhammad and some friends that you made in France, and a little bit more about your. Yeah, maybe you could. That was really. I was really into that story.
Yeah. No, I can tell you more, Chuck. It'd be good. Maybe it'll all come around, and then we'll end up in 3 Lakes, Wisconsin. Because I started out from really close from there. I was trout fishing with my dad there.
At the Dairy Delight.
Dairy Delight.
Should we hang out at Dairy Delight?
That's one thing I can tell you about where I went to school up there, Midway School in Gleason. In the 6th grade, we painted a sign up there that says, trout fishing capital of the world. Welcome.
Nice.
I did some trout fishing before I left with my dad, and he showed me some spots, and then I didn't tell my family exactly where I was going, but I had an itinerary that I was going to France, and I've been in France for the last few months. I started the show, I was talking about being with a friend, Mohammed, and I can tell you that while I was in France, I wasn't with the French as much as I think there was a cultural inclusion of all immigrants from all over. And what I loved about France is the immigrants. Like, it felt like New York to me, because there's every kind of culture that I can think of. Living in Paris, living in Montpellier, living in Lyon, living in many of the cities, and that's what I love about New York, is how many cultures live there, but all over France. It's so I was staying with some different people in all the cities. I was in Paris and then Lyon for a while, with kind of a found family of just people I got very close to. And while I was in Lyon, they have this the solstice and all over France. Many musicians play in the streets and dancers, and everybody's celebrating the summer, you know, and out at night, and they have the Rhone. And what I think I noticed so much about France to the States is the way it's lit. Our cities are lit. Really warm light, and you have the Rhone and the old part of the Croix, and we walk around dancing all night. And I kind of went there to learn a little bit more about dance too, because I think they have the soul of their country is the farming and some of the great arts like dancing, and I think modern dance is what I went to find there. And I found it, and I spent a lot of time.
Wait, you went looking for modern dance?
Yeah.
Just this past time that you were there?
Yeah.
Really?
I went to some workshops, and I ended up, there was a friend of a sister here in Milwaukee. She was here in Milwaukee, now she's maybe Iowa, somewhere out there. I have no report, but I stay with a friend, Mabel, and I met other friends from Rwanda. I met many Rwandese people who were very welcoming into their apartments and homes and cafes, and I spent a lot of time in the south with friends, lead to friends, and train rides, and I spent some time in the Alps too, in Savoie, on a saffron farm, and I saw some families and how people live there, and it was very fine, very good.
So wait, you were in Savoie? How do you say it?
Savoie.
So what is Savoie Fair?
Savoie is a region in the Alps. The French have Alps. The Swiss have Alps.
So the Savoie Fair is just Savoie food or something? Remember there was that cartoon character, Savoie Fair is everywhere?
I don't know.
He's a mouse. There was this cartoon character, Savoie Fair, he's everywhere. After he would foil the bandit, he would say Savoie Fair. So I was just wondering what Savoie Fair is. Do you know?
I don't know, but I can tell you.
Sorry, man.
I've had some really good dreams with cows because of La Vache. They have the cows there, and I slept in this cottage of my friend Minou, which I think she calls herself the Little Minnow. It's very good to be a little minnow when you're becoming a little bit older. Not that we're so old, but, and Minou has this place, and she's a spirituologist. You know what this is?
A spirituologist?
A spirituologist.
Huh. No, I don't know what that is at all.
So I think, you know, I get myself in these situations where I feel like I'm lonesome. I want I'm temporal loneliness. And so it pushes me to travel these places.
Wow.
I don't know how I end up there really, but I'm with Minou, and we're crawling for 4 or 5 hours on our knees, on our backs. And sometimes I think, Minou, I don't know, man.
Wait, you were crawling for 4 or 5 hours?
I'm a big guy. Minou. I'm not as small as you.
Where were you crawling? Wait.
So I'm crawling into this stuff called algula. Do you know what algula is? It's like mud inside of caves. And I'm on my hands and knees and stuff, and I'm crawling into these caves. And then we're going further and further, and then there's nothing but dark. You have the headlamp, and you're full of wet, and there's a thing attached to you that you're supposed to take a pee in your pants.
Oh, when you're in the caves.
When you're in the caves.
Last time I saw you, a few months ago, you just got done catching birds.
This is true.
Like, what are you up to?
I'm still in the caves, though.
Now you're in.
I'm still in the caves. We're in the Alps. We're close to Mont Blanc. We're in Savoie region, and we're crawling with Minou, who's this botanist and spirituologist. She studies caves, La Grotte. And we're crawling deeper and deeper into this cave until we get to this thing called, my favorite is called the wedding dress. The wedding dress, which is this big gallery. It's like we can have a movie theater or something inside of
a cave.
In this cave, yeah. But sometimes you feel like you're gonna get stuck in this thing because you're crawling and crawling. And then, Chuck, it's beautiful. something that's so sacred feeling, because there's like
really?
like hundreds of years ago there were people crawling into these caves, and they have what's called drawing rooms. A drawing room is where you can say, Chuck, take me into this cave, and then Chuck writes in his beautiful text, his script, you know. Chuck's writing Retauber, my name. He writes it, and it looks so beautiful. And then you come 100 years later, and you see how their script looks like, and there are all these these scripts. You look from the bottom to the top, and they're filled with all these beautiful scripts. And the thing that's so precious is that you could just rub away, and they would be gone. But they don't. They respect them, and they keep them.
Fantastic.
Like this.
Incredible.
And then you crawl back out of
So
this.
delicate, right? Man. Shit.
Delicate, so delicate. And what I found cool too are these circle, this place where they have Le Plunger, the divers haul their scuba gear inside of the mountain for 4 or 5 hours, you know? And they pull it down another cave that's full of water, and they dive down inside of the mountain. And they have all this
Through the cave.
Through the cave, yeah. With lights on and stuff. And
Wait, they were doing that when you were there?
not when I was there, but I went right by this where
Amazing.
where there's
yeah.
like a lake,
A hole? Oh, wow.
a lake or a river inside of the
No way.
mountain. Yeah,
Wow.
it was cool.
Yeah, no, you described it, really made it sound, the spiritualness of it came alive, not to sound too corny for the, was that too corny?
I don't think it was corny.
But you made it come alive for me. I'm serious.
It was good. It made me stop. A friend of mine, I was having some silver. How do you say this? Silver. What's the tea called? Something like that. Silver needle. You know the silver needle? I think it's maybe a kind of jasmine or something. I was having tea upstairs of the Inaba place, you know, up on the. And I was having some tea, and my friend said to me, Matthew, I think you're processing too much. You're processing. And when I'm out there, when I'm traveling around, I feel like I'm processing, but I can be more active or something. Like get out of my head, because if I let all this stuff, like thinking about my partner far away, or family far away, or like it's gotta be active. Just gotta keep moving through stuff. So I went to the cave, you know, and then I come out of the cave, and I'm taking the grass off this saffron field in the mountains up there, and then picking wildflowers and learning. Kind of just an experiment, you know. And it's good to get to the other side of the world, because they got some bibliotheques over there, and they got all kinds of books that I've never seen before, authors and things I found. Really? I did my regular routine like I do here. Just kind of a lot of different stuff.
How long were you there for?
3 months.
Okay, wow.
Wow, you must speak French pretty well if you're there for 3 months.
But we don't speak to the saffron so much. I do in my head, but when I'm alone, you know, I don't speak so much.
You're speaking a little
inflection. Maybe.
Yeah. You're sound like you just got back, right?
Like it's been a while. I went to see my family. I'm not more trout fishing, but I tried to be. I could have tried harder, I think, to be more present up there. Mom isn't feeling so good. I wasn't feeling so healthy. My health has been up and down.
Wow.
I'm trying to get it straight, but yeah, I was up. I just got back pretty recent still, and I'm still thinking about. It helped a lot too, because I remembered. I photographed, but then I was writing a lot too, so I can tell you things. Maybe they're internalized from.
Were you taking
my
postcards? Were you taking photos while you were there?
I did photograph. A lot of my friends. I wanted to photograph the dance workshop that I went to. I bought a bicycle while I was there, and I rode to this town called Yen. Yen is also back to Savoie. You can put your bicycle on a train up there. You can't take the TGV speed train, but you can take the slow ride, which is pretty fast. You know, they got some amazing trains, and the stewardship of the train.
Like workers,
yeah, it's amazing. There's some really cool.
Nice. So you're like holding like a button. So you're saying that they got some wool,
some
cool
class.
looking.
They got
really
some
wow.
class, yeah.
Wow.
Some classy, and they like to speak with you. They joke around.
That's cool. That's the kind of work I do. So I should go over there and get a job, man.
I think so. It's socialist. Very fun. It's very cool. They're treated with. They got the 4-day work week. 36 hours, and everything shuts down between 12 and noon. It's really 12 and 2. Things shut down, you know, and you take a break. They like to rest, and then they go back, and that's and in the month of August, I gotta say, some cities just
that's why Mitt Romney hates them. Like the Republicans hate him because they take time off.
You gotta regroup. You gotta rethink.
Like you gotta make sure the workers just never stop working. It's one difference.
This is crazy, Chuck. If you don't take a break, you can't think about where you want to go next. You don't want to keep repeating the same hardships over and over and over again. You gotta take a break.
Hey, can I just say one thing? So I've been thinking about this. You know how everybody hates Obama? Like Matthew, you hate Obama, right?
In France over there, I was hanging out with these Rwandese people, and they keep saying the same thing. Obama, we can. Obama, we can.
That's what Obama is about, actually. Ultimately, and that's like the best thing that President Obama is about. But I was thinking,
got some francophone fans over there.
Do you know that so it's 1933 and it's Germany, and we're deciding between Baron von Hindenburg. Okay, so the communists are not going to win, just like in Germany. The communists had no chance, but they were out there in force, right, in 1933. But then it really was between Baron von Hindenburg's reign and then Hitler. And I swear, America is like Hindenburg.
Baron von Hindenburg.
So he was really bad, but he wasn't Hitler. And it's like, if you have a choice between Hitler and Baron von Hindenburg, which is what's going on now, you have to vote against Hitler. So that's why people aren't going to vote for Obama. But
why are you calling Obama Hitler?
No, I love that.
What's up with that?
Romney.
I mean, because you're not alone. There's a lot of people, and this is nothing. This is apples and oranges.
Obama is closer to Baron
This is
von
apples and
Hindenburg,
oranges,
and not only that,
he's
better than Baron von Hindenburg.
I think it's a little bit.
No, because people aren't going to vote for Obama.
Honestly, what do you know about 1933 Germany? With all due respect, I mean, really, why don't you talk about
an assumption based on just my own kind of information intake, which I feel is superior, and I have a certain arrogance about my ability to pull it off. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that
it's bully for you.
It's like a really good comparison between now and Baron von Hindenburg and Hitler
with zero facts. Absolutely, nothing to stand on, not even a leg to stand on. You're just gonna throw that out there, talking about Baron von Hindenburg. And then saying that Obama's Hitler. No, it's
if Dave was here, he'd have a segment too. Dave wants to move. He's going to go to France and be an apple picker. He hopes.
Apple picker. I would say to him to try to do as much work on getting a work visa. So he's in the clear, because once you get there, it's very hard to get the work visa. Well, I don't know about this so much, but it's hard to get a visa when you're there. I think it's maybe Americans are treated maybe a little bit better. Maybe you lose the visa.
He wants to be an apple picker, though. Can you get an apple picker visa?
I think he can.
I should tell him that. Yeah.
I would say to try to call. Those.
That's what he should.
You could be a woofer too. You could woof your way around France. Many Americans are out there doing this, and many
woofing. What's woofing?
Many Aussies Aussies are doing this too. I've met some Aussies.
What's a
Woofing is worldwide on organic farms. And,
Really?
it's more of a partage, some sharing. It's more sharing than sharing ideas, sharing culture, a way to pick up the language, a way to see how they farm in France, which is similar than some of the same stuff I've seen here, but it's a lot smaller farms. Like we have, it's common to have over there like 12 cows. I lived across the street, you guys, from some beautiful abondance cows, which they make the fromage, and they have bells. They have bells on around their collar, and each one is a different size of bell, so they make a different sound. And you're in your bed at night in your cottage, and you hear these bells, and the Alps, and I'm sleeping. And then I wake up, I hear the same bells. I go upstairs and I try to quit coffee, it's very hard to do in France. It's good, but it's small coffee, small little. This is another thing. It's really funny to come back and you see the people carrying the big coffee around. Yeah. But so there's just a little bit.
It's coffee or it's espresso? It's just espresso?
I tried chicory while I was staying in the saffron farm. Chicory coffee, a little bit of. So is
it really like espressos in that tiny cup, or it's like?
It was in the cafes, back in the cities it was kind of like espresso, stronger. But I would just a little bit, tiny toss, tiny cup.
Yeah, too much coffee's gross. Anyways, man, it just gives you indigestion.
Yeah, I'm trying to do some mate now. But woofing is worldwide on organic farms, and you can be an apple picker there. There's lots of. I say to friends, if you want to learn about the wine, though, too, I think don't go early in the summer. Go maybe in August. Spend your time, and then you get 3 months in the EU. You only get your 90 days, and then you got to go back. And then you have to wait 90 days here until you can go back too.
So Dave, Dave has been on. He's been on like most of our shows, but now he's back at work, so he doesn't come anymore. But so Dave is gonna. I'm gonna have Dave watch the show, and he's gonna think you're like the greatest guest ever.
I hope
because
so.
Woofing, because he just wants to go to France and just kind of illegally pick apples. He's been there like 10 times.
Well,
but
he knows probably better than I.
But he never has tried to. I think he's been, you don't know Dave, but like I think he needs that info. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah, it's good to. I would have done some more research. Maybe I don't know. Sometimes people. I'm a fly.
He's never gotten a work visa. He goes on those. What are the other visas called? Temporary. The visitor visa.
I just have a passport.
Okay, yeah. So he couldn't stay. So he thought he had to stay illegally.
Yeah, it was a good 90 days though. It was very good. I saw a lot of. Understanding the cosmos, Chuck.
Really?
Understanding the orders of things. That I got to see the rural. I got to see how the cities were, and I met some really good people who are living in France, trying to naturalize. I learned a lot about people my age who are Rwandese. People from Rwandese.
Okay, yeah.
A lot of them left Rwanda during the genocide in 1994, and they were 10 or 12 years old. Some friends of mine who are my age left to go to Uganda, or they went to the Congo to try to get out. They stopped going to school. Many of them who live in France now live there as independents and maybe had families, but they're so scattered all over Europe, all over Africa, of where they went to get out, because over 1 million people die from April to July or something in 1994. And these people were some of the strongest people I've ever met. You're talking about during Holocaust, Hitler time, but this is 1994, and it happened, and it's like I don't know, people. I was just a kid then, but I don't remember any American. I just feel like there was
It
maybe
definitely
no
was like
interest.
on the nightly news a bunch. Is being reported, but
You're talking about genocide in
massacre,
Rwanda? Yeah, between the Hutus and the
Yeah.
Tutsis.
It actually made the mainstream news. I distinctly can kind of see like Charles Kuralt or something on CBS News, like talking about that was like my first genocide, I think. Isn't that terrible? On the nightly news.
Yes.
You've been through a couple other
I mean, I work with a
genocides.
bunch of people who have recently come from Somalia in the last like 5-6 years.
Everyone is like doing it. It's like you're doing it, like you're filming my dream. You want to be like,
These people were so strong to me. I look up to them so much because what it must be like to go through what they went through.
Beautiful gowns and stuff.
Beautiful gowns.
clothes. Yeah.
I see some incredible sandals, beadwork, and a lot of my friend Sylvie Ibajiza is an amazing dancer over there, and she always is having these beautiful pitons.
The women at my job wear these beautiful, when they come in to get their checks or they come in not to work, they're always wearing these incredibly beautiful gowns. They usually, like, the Somali workers get hired to do the most basic cleanup work in the whole place, where they don't even have to really communicate with anybody, just sit there and clean stuff, you know? But then when they come, they're wearing the most gorgeous gowns.
There's a beautiful sight right now going by the Riverwest film and video store with this little man is going by with his bicycle and guitar on his back. Sorry.
I saw him. Did you see him, Santiago?
Sorry to break
saw
away.
him.
Did you guys see him? Wait, no, it's on. It's also on the. No, it's not shooting out
No,
the
it's
It's
window.
not on the TV.
Dang.
I had some really good times with my friend Sylvie biking around the city too of Lyon. It's incredible because France doesn't have one architect. They have so many architects in the city, and they're all jamming together, and the streets are winding and going up hills, and we're looking at this beautiful Roman architecture from like 1500s. It's wild, man. To take a bike ride at night, you go along the Rhone.
Wow.
So Sylvie was on the bicycle. We'd go
Yeah.
for rides. It was great.
Huh.
Really, really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like such a great.
Yeah. The closest thing in the U.S. is like San Francisco, but it's not even a comparison to France or something.
What was so
Yeah, we don't have buildings that date before 1800s here.
Yeah, but just kind of like that feel a tiny bit. Like San Francisco can't even approach it, but when European people like to go to San Francisco for like out of America, I live there. They're always like, this is the best American city by far. Like European people would always be like, this is the best American city. It's the most European feeling city in America or something.
It's really the people.
So
for me,
the
though.
best is European, and Obama's.
Oh,
here. You sound really.
Romney.
You sound. Yeah, right. This
Romney.
is brilliant.
What are you talking about?
I think the people is really what was special, though. Beyond all that, of hanging out with these Roger the Grand and Roger Petit,
Big and
these
little
two
Roger.
Rogers,
Wait, were
And-
there Rogers?
two Rogers, and Roger, and we're down in Montpellier, and Roger, one has this beautiful Lady Fanny, and the other Roger, Theo, and my friend Sylvie, and we're all hanging out cooking amazing Rwandese food, you know, and we're like family together. We're all hanging out, and we go into the beach. We go to the Mediterranean at night, eating escargot and the mussels, and we're all hanging out together.
It's like, what do they do for money?
What do they do for money? They
Yeah.
work really hard.
Sell bootleg CDs.
No bootleg CDs. This reminds me though of a film I just saw.
They work in the service industry pretty much.
Sylvie is an amazing story. She's trying to naturalize. This is her 5th year. She will naturalize this year. I have
So that
total
means
confidence.
that she'll be able to stay in France.
She'll
She'll be a
in
citizen.
French. She'll be a French
That's
citizen.
like $1 billion to become a French citizen.
She worked first as a shopkeeper in I would always say grocery store, and they would say, what is grocery store? What is that? But it's she works in a grocery store, very hard and hard worker. But then she studied while she was there. She studied to be like a paralegal. So she studied some law, and our friend Pierre is a patent lawyer. So she hopefully will get a job. She worked of all things she was a assistant for divorce court, so she's learning her French.
Wait, a TV show now?
No. From she worked for.
This is
divorce.
Brilliant. That was a gem. I don't know if anybody caught that, but that was a gem. So revealing. So revealing. What do you think Oprah? What would Oprah say about that?
Why do you have to?
What would Oprah say, Chuck? Sorry about that, Matthew. But so she's on divorce court TV.
No, not on TV at all. But I did catch a little television over there. Brief. Some are good. I noticed that they have so much more artists on the television.
Really?
Yeah, lots of piano players on TV. They have. Piano was really showcased there. But
funny.
I also watched the Fashion Channel a little bit. I was impressed, I think. And I was a little bit scared.
So like there's a French fashion channel or something? We got like 3 minutes to go, man. We gotta start winding this show down.
Okay.
No, I'm just like saying you gotta start giving
Making
your
it
good
good.
nights. Go ahead.
So, I told you about some great Rwandese friends, I think. And I think, too, I give you some advice. Play some basketball there. I met some great friends playing basketball. It's really incredible.
Very cool.
If you're an immigrant and you come over and you're playing basketball, and you make some friends that way. That happened to me. And the dancing, maybe this is another show for the dancing, but part of the show I was in Yen. I was telling you guys about how I rode the bicycle up to Yen through the night, and the Alps were going, and I met some really great dancers at a workshop up there. But maybe for next time.
What kind of dancing?
Yeah, we still got 2 minutes to go.
Some modern dance from the San Francisco woman, I believe.
Chuck's turned into a clock.
I was learning about. Is Isadora Duncan?
Isadora Duncan.
Sure, yeah.
And she I believe was a San Francisco native.
Yeah, so she was like she was in France. She was in France in that city.
She had a sister though.
Oh, her sister. Huh.
She has her and her sister, and her father was a California banker, I believe, or worked in a bank. There was a big earthquake.
She died like 80 years ago, right? Isadora Duncan died in like the 50s.
I believe it was a very long time ago. But in California, she was from California, and she. There was an earthquake. It changed the way their family had money. I think maybe they weren't poor, but they took a blow during that earthquake. I believe, maybe I'm making this up. I think this is true.
Yeah.
But then she goes to France. She starts teaching with her sister dance, trying to have drawing rooms. I think drawing rooms. Maybe they pay her. They say, hey, maybe you should keep teaching, and she stays in France. And I had a friend she's in her 80s. I love to look at her feet because she had the most amazing feet of a dancer. They're all like she's been through combat, all the stuff that's happened to these feet and tape and everything. But she was amazing. She could look into my soul, I felt, as we're dancing around this
I don't think we're supposed to go
monastery.
over 10:55.
We're around this monastery.
Yeah, thanks, Chuck. Go ahead,
You keep
Matthew.
talking,
Sorry about
Matthew.
that.
But like, yeah, you can just keep telling the story. But we're gonna.
Yeah, Chuck. Okay.
We're in this monastery.
Just let him tell the story.
Sorry.
It's cool. We're in this monastery.
I thought that'd be good.
I arrived there because I knew this daughter, Laura Garby. And Laura Garby was this dancer, and I took some classes with her, but she didn't have a lot of time because she was always working with this group called Cabiria.
Huh.
And Cabiria is an organization because they have prostitution in France, and it's legal, and immigrants are coming from all over Cameroon and all over Francophone Africa and all over the place to work as prostitutes, and they may have some kind of diseases or stuff like this, and they so want to be in French. They want to become French. And so there's a place called Cabiria, and they do this testing and organizing work for AIDS and STDs and things like this. It's very good. And my friend Laura works for them. But Laura's grandmother studies Isadora Duncan's methods and things like this, and she's very with it. She's in her 80s, but because she's a dancer, I think she's mentally sharp and physically sharp, and she's there, and she's still with the presence of everyone there. We have a live piano player there, and
What's that mouse?
it's good. Mice are good. I didn't see him. I missed him.
So there's a mouse, huh?
Elmo's getting him.
Elmo, get the mouse.
Elmo, I saw him too. Yeah. Did you see him?
So Matthew, sorry about that. We're gonna have to have you on again if you'd like to come. It's on Sundays at 10:10.
He went underneath her.
I think he went underneath the stage there, Elmo.
Elmo, you're.
So we're just about winding down the show. I think I don't know if you got anything else to say there, Matthew. This has been great, though.
Yeah, this is a good show.
Thanks so much for having me.
I don't
Except
know.
for you and me, we're gonna throw it out.
Except
later
for
on,
having,
man. Him and he, we're gonna fight.
I can't figure out which mic is his. I'll just turn it off.
Maybe sometime we can hear Chuck's.
We're gonna fight.
Maybe we can hear Chuck's bicycle story when he lost his bicycle in San Francisco. I think that was a beautiful piece that maybe I had dreams about this. I think the guy who stole the bike looks like Santa Claus or something too.
He did.
I remember
kind of,
like this.
Yeah. But he's red. But he had red hair and he had like a hairy red back.
It sounds like you.
I don't know what's going on the other side of the table over there. I don't know. Some frustration.
There's a lot of frustration.
Some anxiety. Some nervousness.
Well, yeah, it's because I was watching Divorce Court.
Hey, you have to turn the show off. So it's like stop record right there.
We should just stop the show now.
I think we're supposed to not go over really.
I hope you all
read that stuff right there.
enjoyed
Look.
listening.
Do you see that? See that sign right there?
There'll be maybe more news from the East Coast.
It's that sign
I'll tell
right
you
there.
about the East Coast adventures.
Definitely.
Next time.
And one last thing
Turn
is
off the
we
mic.
got a DJ and the Fagettes at Quarters tonight. Thanks a lot, everybody. Good night.